Oh, good morning. It is Epiphany. What a wonderful time of year when the light is turning around and we can get excited about that. I just wanted to say a little bit, following in your words, Michael, just to quote a little bit from your sermon, because you talked about Barbara Brown Taylor writing the children's book Home by Another Way, and I just wanted to say again your words, if I may. And you said, "She says that when the Magi came and looked into the manger at the baby Jesus, they were transformed. They were so transformed that they went home by another way. They were different, and they couldn't continue on the same route. On the brink of 2023, how are you transformed?" And that's part of what we're thinking and talking about today. I mean, transformation, isn't that what Epiphany is all about? I mean, a baby is born, and we are a different people, and we continue along that route. I know this isn't everybody's thing, but I just have to say something that I find to be quite synchronistic. At 8:01 this morning, I got an email from another spiritual teacher that I do some meditation with, and they said that through numerology, and I am not a numerologist, I won't ever lay claim to that, and I don't know how many of you follow that, but it was interesting that they said that 2023 is a very, very significant year. And the reason why that it's an auspicious number is that it adds up to the number 7. And many people say that the number 7 brings on a year of deepening wisdom and transformation. And I thought, wow, what a great time and time of the year to be putting forward our vision as a church. So I want to say that I am personally committed to the transformation that we're facing and looking at and journeying through together, and quite excited about that. So starting out, just wanted to say that what happened, as you're all aware, is October 30th. And prior to that, we went out and spoke with groups, and then on the 30th, we spoke with all of you and asked you to talk about 3 different things. And they were just very simple questions about what we wanted to do to continue with in this church, and what we wanted to stop in this church, and what we wanted to move ahead with in the church. And then there was a very important question, which I'm going to let Nina speak to later, around what was the Spirit saying to you. Your responses were incredible. I mean, there were over 100 of you that gave responses back. And to me, that is speaking to the vision and the nature of this church in spades. It's beautiful. So just to give you an idea, and these are just like from all your stickies, this is one-liners of your ones that you wanted to continue with. There were 5 pages, full pages. The ones you wanted to stop were 3. And the ones you wanted to carry on with were 6 pages. A lot of information, a lot of work. And thanks to Nina, she spent hours collating all those little stickies that you put in so that we'd have your information to work from. So we're very, very excited about that. And that's what we're here to present today to you, is what you have told us. And as you know, Council Circles, one of our main jobs is to make sure that there is a vision for this church. Where are we going for the next 5 years in time? We tried starting that a couple of years back, but COVID had stopped that. But I think that was a God-given chance, actually, or a gift to settle in and to see things a bit differently. And your responses are showing that as well. So, what I will do is, I think I'm going to just, at this point, invite Nina to come up, because I really did want her to speak to you about what the Spirit was saying, and then we will walk through our summary of what you gave us through your feedback. Thank you.
What is the Spirit saying to me? This was the final question that we invited you to answer on that day when we gathered. And at that visioning exercise, there were over 140 responses to this question alone. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of responses to everything, but 140 to what is the Spirit saying to me, and it was amazing. So we studied these responses for patterns, and we were looking for patterns of shared values, commitments, and aspirations. And you spoke with tremendous energy and conviction. So this is what we found. The Spirit is saying overwhelmingly that we embrace values of love, kindness, compassion, gratitude, and hope. The Spirit is saying that we are deeply committed to responsibilities of hospitality and outreach. Again and again, people spoke about the importance of hospitality and outreach. We're committed to becoming even more welcoming, accepting, and visible as an in-person KUC community, an online congregational community, and as a wider spiritual community in Kamloops. Our commitments to hospitality and outreach are expressed in a desire for deeper Christian education and spiritual discovery, as well as further acts of daring justice through affirm, reconciliation, and environmental stewardship. The Spirit is saying that we aspire to serve, support, and heal ourselves and others through participation in activities such as pastoral care, seniors groups, music, fabric arts, Pit Stop, and the thrift store. Those are just some. Many may remember John Pentland's visit and where he invited us to take risks and to, quote, throw the nets over the other side of the boat. Your responses say that the Spirit is calling us to take risks. We're saying that we want to embrace the changes needed to continue to be a thriving, relevant spiritual community in the downtown core of Kamloops. The Spirit is calling us to, quote, widen the demographic through programming, education, and social initiatives. The Spirit is calling us to bold discipleship by creating a youth ministry. There were many comments about this. We've said that we're committed to serving and supporting the spiritual growth, education, and development of children, youth, and their families. Again and again, your responses are a declaration of our United Church commitments to deep spirituality, daring justice, and bold discipleship. Amen.
So this is my cue to Carol. I think we'll start into presenting what we had put together. And just as background, I think Michael has mentioned this before, but you gave your feedback up to October 30th and beyond, actually. And as of November 1st, Council Circle was meeting together, and we met 3 times during the month of November for 2 to 3 hours each. My apologies to Council Circle. They were long, and they were very patient and wonderful in their deliberation. So I think I'm just going to walk you through this right now. Just so you know ahead of time, the process will be that we'll walk you through this. We actually have some copies of this, some physical copies, but it is going to be sent out to you with some of our notes of the things that we're talking about today, and you will have that to think over. And then next week, we will be having some discussions around what it means and where we're going with this, with the final vote happening at our AGM in March. So we do have a lot of time to consider what is being put forward. Consider prayerfully, and as Nina was saying, what is the Spirit saying through us, and continue to speak through us. So just go back one little bit. I wanted to just, the deep, bold, and daring. These are the new sayings that have come out of the United Church, the National United Church. So it's deep spirituality, bold discipleship, daring justice. Like, those words are strong. They are really implying a vision and a presence in this community and our communities across the country. And this is something that Council Circle, when they looked at, they said, yes, we embrace this. We're hearing from you that you embrace it as well. And so what does that mean? So let's use that as part of who we are and our background for moving forward. So, thanks, Carol. So at our gathering on October 30th, as mentioned, there were over 100 people gathered in person and online to consider a vision which would sustain Kamloops United Church into the next 5 years. Nina and I led the faith community to think of a stoplight as they considered. So we had the three things. We didn't put them in the red, yellow, and green in your ordinary order. We decided we'd start with yellow. What are you doing now that we like and will continue? It was incredible. You love everything we're doing. Like there is very little that you really wanted to stop with, and you put that down. And again, as I said, 5 pages later of all those things that you want us to continue doing. Then we went on to red. What should we stop doing? This created a bit more confusion and a little bit more of a hesitation. People said, well, can we talk about things that we'd like to start slowing down on versus stopping? Because we're not ready to completely stop. And the answer was yes, of course. Of course. You know, we're going in a direction. We can't just, open and close doors. We need to be moving straight forward. But only 3 pages of stopping things. And really it was like 2 and a little bit. So not a lot to stop. And then green, what new things could we be doing? Well, I think by that point in time you were really energized, because 6 pages later of things that you would like to start doing. And some of it was a continuation for sure, but it certainly gave us the sense that you as a community of faith are seeing yourselves as those leaders that we know you to be in this community, and that Kamloops United Church is known for that kind of leadership in the community. Where am I here? And at the end, we consider the question, what is the Spirit saying to me today? Which is what Nina reported on, and I feel is an incredibly important one, because the Spirit speaks through us. And that was who was speaking through you during the whole process, but especially at that moment. So I think we have a bunch of pictures showing all of us busily working away on October 30th. And I remember the hum and the buzz in the room at that point in time, and it was incredibly exciting and just a wonderful process to go through. So what did we say? We said, we are very happy with what we are doing, and we don't really want to stop any major things that KUC is engaged in. We are generally happy with our church life and extremely proud of our social justice ministry to the downtown community. And that was mentioned many, many times with our outreach. The third part was, overall, we like worship and music at KUC, recognizing that currently there are many different types of worship: sound meditation, labyrinth, and film night. And by the way, with the music, I think Michael, of course, has mentioned this to us before, is that we are going to be some of the experimental groups working with the new music that's coming out of the National United Church, which is a great honor to even think that they would consider us, but I'm very excited about that. The other thing that we said is we are very concerned for the need to have younger people for congregational viability into the future. What will our future look like? And how will we get there? We wonder if we have adequate staffing to facilitate living out what we believe the Spirit is calling us to do. So knowing that we are a very busy church at this point in time, not wanting to give up anything, but wanting to add on more things, how are we going to manage doing that? We are pleased with the hospitality, pastoral care, spiritual nurture we receive at KUC. In other words, people feel welcomed and feel like they are part of this community. So if we divide that up, the next slide please, Carol, into the bold discipleship, daring justice, and deep spirituality, what did we say under those headings in a nutshell? Deep spirituality, we love our worship and music. We value Christian education. We honor our stewardship. Under bold discipleship, we recognize that we are a downtown location and what that means to us. We are a different church because of that. We hold up our values. It is a love-based community of faith, service-focused, and open to the Spirit. We lift up our hospitality and embrace that and know that that is a way for bringing more people through the door or welcoming the people who are here. We are living into the call to have an online presence, Zoom, live stream worship, hybrid meetings. And of course, we have that today, and we've had it every day, and it is a gift that we got through COVID when we shut down. We never knew we could do our online work, and yet it is so powerful and so important to presence. And daring justice, we affirm Pit Stop, global and community action, Reconciliation Circle, our affirming ministry, thrift shop, and we value our community outreach. That is who we are at Kamloops United Church and who we strive to be. So on to the recommendations that we have from Council Circle, and we worked this through, as I say, over a number of discussions. How do we get there? And this is not for Council Circle to decide. This is for us to give our recommendations to you and to be discussed next week further and questions asked. But we needed you to see these and to be able to prayerfully think about them. So our recommendations are that, as Nina said around John Pentland's message, that we embrace risk-taking, deep spirituality. That Kamloops United Church embrace risk-taking in all areas of its life, seeking fresh expressions of worship and music, and the involvement of younger people in all aspects of church life, including decision and policy making. That KUC live the question, what do we have invested in our future? The second recommendation is that we prioritize first, third ministry, that is bold discipleship. That KUC engage a second full-time minister with an emphasis on first, third ministry, those under the age of 30, for a 5-year commitment. In addition, that position would be doing all the additional work that we have been talking about, as well as support to Michael in his role as lead minister. That KUC live out its risk-taking and invest in the future by drawing the necessary reserve funds to do this. And Gail will be speaking to this just as I finish up here today to see how we're going forward. And finally, our third recommendation is to strengthen our call to social justice by implementing an eco-stewardship plan for our building and physical resources, daring justice. That KUC become carbon neutral, e.g. exploring the options of solar power and an electric car charging station. And that we ramp up our recycling program and develop new environmental policies. It's a big ask, and it's a big goal, and it's a big vision, all of this. But we felt, as your council circle, that you were absolutely capable of that. And I know that there will be financial questions right now, and at this point, I'm going to ask Gail to speak. Thank you.
Assuming we choose to move ahead with this vision and anticipating some questions about our ability to afford a second minister for 5 years, the Council Circle asked me to provide a financial update regarding our reserves, specifically around our legacy second mortgages. Here's a little history. When we undertook to build the apartment building next door, we chose to provide those units as affordable housing. This was in part achieved because KUC provided second mortgages on a majority of the units for qualifying buyers. These second mortgages are non-interest bearing with no regular repayments. However, when the unit is sold, the second mortgage is to be repaid, and the repayment includes a portion of the proceeds in excess of the original sale price. So far to date, we have received second mortgage repayments of about $480,000. About $350,000 remains outstanding. If, when, or how much of this amount will be repaid is unknown. You may recall that at the completion of the Vision 429 project, we adopted the following policy to manage these second mortgage repayments. Upon receipt, 50% would go into the Legacy Second Mortgage Fund, and 50% would be added to our existing Chrysalis Fund. The Legacy Second Mortgage Fund is only to be spent with congregational approval. The Chrysalis Fund is designed to be spent over 20 years. Now getting back to our current financial situation. Our financial reports to December 31st, 2021, or 2022, I should say, are not yet available. These will take a few more weeks to complete, but I can provide some estimates. A year ago, at December 31st, 2021, all of our reserves totaled $756,000. I estimate that all of our reserves would total $830,000 at the end of 2022. Of this total, our Legacy Second Mortgage Fund, available for expenditure by congregational approval, is about $254,000. Currently included in our Chrysalis Fund is another $238,000 of these second mortgage repayments. With an amendment to our original policy, some or all of these funds may be used to move forward with this new vision.
Thank you, Gail. Appreciate that. So as mentioned, we are excited about this, about our plan that we're putting forward for our vision, and we will be continuing this conversation next week, both online and within the service. And the question will be next week, how can you live into this vision? Today is the start of a very transformational year with our church life. How will you embrace it? Arise and shine. Amen.